4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is StoryCon. I'm Regina Lake.
And I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories are watching this Tuesday, August 25. The House Prosecution Panel presents its second hostile witness on day 18 of VP Sara Duterte's impeachment trial. OVP Assistant Chief of Staff Assistant Secretary Lemuel Otoño confirms that he accompanied former OVP Special Disbursing Officer Gina Acosta in encashing 4 checks worth 125 million pesos each for confidential funds. Otoño also said he did not handle any official receipts for supplies, including medicine, allegedly purchased using the funds. He explains that only acknowledgement receipts were provided, while payments were made directly to informants and to agents. Meantime, the Senate Impeachment Court has summoned former Education Department Special Disbursing Officer Edward Fajarda for September 7. Fajarda recently suffered a stroke and was ordered to have a 2-week bed rest. As for former OVP Security Head Colonel Raymond Dante La Chica, the prosecution is still deciding whether or not to present him in trial.
The Chinese embassy is questioning the presence of the U.S. military at the Sanja Steel facility in Misamis Oriental, where Chinese workers were earlier arrested. The U.S. embassy confirmed that American and Filipino troops visited the steel plant to assess its suitability for the 2027 Balikatan military exercises. In a statement, embassy spokesperson Ji Lingpeng asked Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro whether he knew about or authorized the selection of the facility as a potential site for Balikatan. G questioned how the U.S. military could have known a year in advance that the steel plant would be available as an exercise site. He also accused Teodoro of using squid tactics to divert attention away from the embassy's questions. For its part, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, insisted that U.S. military personnel did not even attempt to enter the facility.
A yellow rainfall warning remains in effect over parts of Luzon due to the southwest monsoon or the Habagat. The yellow warning covers the province of Zambales and parts of Bataan, including Dinalupihan, Hermosa, and Morong. Pag-asa warns that flooding is possible in low-lying and flood-prone areas due to the continuous heavy rains. Meantime, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, or the NGCP, has placed the Visayas grid under red and yellow alert status today. The red alert will be in effect from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., while yellow alerts are expected from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Under a red alert, power supply is insufficient to meet demand and the required reserve, while a yellow alert means supply remains sufficient, but reserve levels are below the required contingency margin.
Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro and Ombudsman Boying Remulla appeared before the House Appropriations Committee for their office's 2027 budget hearing earlier today. Teodoro called for stronger military presence and logistics bases in the Philippines' Pacific areas, including, of course, the U.S.-Philippine Sea. The proposed 2027 D&D budget and that of its attached agencies total 324.6 billion pesos, or about 10% higher than this year's allocation. Meanwhile, the Ombudsman is seeking a 7.23 billion peso budget for 2027, up from 6.42 billion pesos this year. Remulla said the office needs additional marshals and office space for lawyers. And StoryCon is live streamed now on One News's Facebook and YouTube pages. We're also live on Signal Channel 250 HD and Channel 8 SD, and also, of course, on 105.9 True FM.
Sa mga nakikinig po sa atin sa radyo, naway hindi kayo natatraffic at tingnan naman ninyo. Ngayon, maagang dumating ang ating kagalang-galang na si StoryCon resident political papa, Mr. Ronald Llamas. Mukhang hindi na traffic.
Magandang hapon po, pero nalipat ako ng upuan. Hindi ko alam kung bakit.
I'm glad you asked. Kita mo,
Sige,
mas mabilis. Tulak eh.
Akala ko dahil sa aking ideology, extreme right.
No. You're not extreme right. Neither are you extreme left. Pero, you know, next time may sabihin ka, gusto ka namin i-push out, mabilis na lang.
Chung!
Oo.
Gusto mo?
You mean boot out?
Hindi mo.
Gusto mo may sound pa eh.
Hindi mo kayang hatakan si Ed.
Atawin ko yung mula mesa pag
Hindi na siya pwedeng bubulong-bulong sa akin ng ganun, pero may microphone dito.
That also. So they put me in between. But from the Philippine Star, of course.
Senyos na lang ako sa'yo.
From the Philippine Star, we've got Editor-in-Chief Ami Pamintuan. Hi, Ami.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Happy
Ami.
Tuesday.
Magandang hapon, happy
Happy,
weekend.
How do you like...
Magandang hapon.
Buti pa si Ami, hindi board sa kwan ngayon sa Senate hearing. Sa
Ikaw
Senate
nga
trial.
tatanungin ko hindi ka ba nabor?
Oh, sige, sagutin mo yun.
Andun ako, aga ko ron 8:30 na umaga. Andun.
Kaya talaga? Hindi ka ba nabor?
Kami ni Attorney Dino De Leon.
Ba't iniwas mo yung tanong?
Board. Buti na
Kailan
lang,
ba tatawagin? Alam mo, iniintay na lang ng mga tao si Colonel at Chika eh.
buti na lang, masarap yung empanada.
Mukhang hindi tatawagin eh.
Mukhang hindi. I mean,
Ng prosecution
we've been asking and asking.
May tatawagin daw
Yeah.
silang tatlo.
Oo, yung may tatlong
Security. Akala ko kasama dun sila chika.
Hindi eh. Kapag pa nila binanggit yung pangalan eh.
Kasi itong session ngayon, ito yung long overdrawn,
I mean,
long drawn out
yeah.
version nung nandun sa House investigation.
After kasi
well,
nung-
I will
Kaya
say
medyo,
though, the value of today was we heard from Lemuel Ordonio, whose name was being dropped in previous sessions. And I guess na-board ka kasi hindi si Attorney Ligutan yung nasa podium, yun ba yun?
Or Lorna
Kasi
Capunan.
of course, he's a bit of a showman and so is Attorney Kapunan.
Yeah.
So, mas TV-friendly sila, if you can say it that.
Kapag
If you can put it
binabanggit,
like
saka
that.
binabanggit na yung mga numbers, sign off na ako.
Nag-sign off ka na.
Yung mga numbers.
Pero there were a few valuable things today. I thought yung Ordonio admitting that it was Vice President Sara Duterte who asked for the confidential funds in 2022. And secondly, that
That was in
she was
August.
the one who determined the amount was pretty revealing, I thought.
Yes,
Siya yung umamin na,
Yung testimony ni Acosta last week, tsaka yung testimony ni Ordonio today, ay set sa yung gusto ng prosecution ng ipakita na may pattern. Hindi lang ito weak accounting systems na mayroong pinuntahan, may gumamit nitong perang ito na possibly anomalous. No? Yun yung ine-establish nila. No? So, papunta ron yung kanilang narrative. No? Kaya in that sense, medyo successful sila. Hindi lang ito, it cannot just be explained away as admin problems.
oh,
no?
hindi lang pattern, but the fact that Ordonio said she herself was the one who asked for that amount of money.
Yes.
And yung figure came from her.
Yes.
So, 500 million yun. We're not talking about, loose change here. That's 500 million. And according to Ordonio, when the request was made in August 22, 2022, almost exactly 4 years ago today, walang supporting documents na sinabit sa DBM, Department of Budget and Management. Parang humingi lang.
Hinabol lang yung PFP the next month.
Oo, hinabol na lang yung line items eventually, but the first request did not have any supporting documents, and I guess he doesn't know ano yung breakdown at that
But even
time.
then, yung hinabol ng document, it was basically good governance program. Wala masyadong breakdown. But I think it's also significant what he said na the confidential funds were given directly daw to the agents and the informants for them to buy themselves food, medicines, tables, and chairs.
Without
Without any receipts.
Una ay hindi kasama yon sa confidential at intelligence fund. Kalawa, walang mga resibo. Puro acknowledgement receipts
Oo,
lang.
puro ARs lang.
And you're talking about the
Although alam na natin
material
yun, ano?
that is not security sensitive, that you can buy from any Shopwise or any...
Kaya medyo pa naman.
Although you were saying, Ami,
Sabi nga kanina dun sa
Alam na
kwan,
natin yun eh. Marami
tanong-
tayo alam na dyan. Or we presume na alam na natin from the House investigation eh.
yung mga
Kaya
tanong
ang iniintay talaga, yon yung medyo explosive nga sana dyan. Baka ikaw may chismis ka, Ronald. Bakit ayaw
Oo, punta ka
ipatawag
ng
si
punta
Colonel
dun
at
eh.
Chika?
Oo. Hindi, kaya una,
Yan
kaya,
ang iniintay talaga eh.
well, una, ang sabi nila, hindi, dahil kwan siya magiging hostile witness. So hindi pa kinakalculate pa nila yung balance sheet kung anong sasabihin niya ay makakatulong sa defense or sa prosecution.
But these two preceding him, if he does get called, are also hostile witnesses, and they've been grilling them
Yeah.
for how long already? I mean,
At siya
Sila po
tinuturo
suffer to-
na siya yung sa kanya binigay yung pera, siya nagdesisyon kung paano
yeah,
ipamimigay.
and that's
Yeah,
critical.
I fully agree. Pero hindi ko alam kung ano yung alam nila eh. Ano yung calculation
Saka
nila.
active service pa siya, di ba? Active service
Yeah, he
pa
is.
siya.
Paano
Yes.
nilagay
Yeah.
siya sa level ni Madriaga eh, na hindi dependable witness. Si Madriaga kasi parang hindi nakukunin eh. No? So, hindi ko alam kung ano yung calculation nila. Ako kasi, smoking gun sila chika. No? Oh.
Pero
Kaya nga.
Madriaga would have been their witness to buttress their
Oh.
narrative, if ever. La Chica could have been the other witness that they could challenge and grill. They're two different kinds of witnesses eh.
Hindi, ang tingin ko kasi wala
Paano
namang...
mo ginastos yun?
Ang tingin ko sila chika, either way, kung ano sasabihin niya, daming sa Vice President eh. Oo.
Yeah.
Dahil pag,
So-
pag inamin niya na siya nga yung sa kanya nga binigay na sinabi ni Acosta, yun pa lang, mali na yun eh. Dahil hindi niya pwedeng gawin yun. Eh. No? At the same time, pag sinabi
Yeah.
niyang hindi, edi kinokontra niya si Acosta at saka si...
So,
Well,
Yun,
that's,
no?
I mean, that's the
So,
point. Bakit
oo.
hindi siya ipatawag ng prosecution? Otherwise, we're always gonna end up with the big question mark.
yeah.
Yo,
Tawagan mo, dali, tawagan mo.
Attorney Lorna, may kwan dito, phone in question eh. Ako yung ginigrill dito para namang prosecution ako.
Bakit
Pwede bang
hindi niyo
pumunta ka dito
patawagin?
para sagutin mo na ito?
Hindi mo denial. Akala ko denial mo na eh.
Alam
Otherwise,
mapabilis, no?
otherwise, baka din it might backfire on them. Baka matanong sila, why won't you call La Chica if siya yung tinuturo ng ibang witnesses as the
You
man
called
behind
everybody
it
else dead
all?
already anyway, so...
Yeah.
And siya lang makakasagot. Sino ba si Mary Grace Piatos?
Hindi,
Sino
tsaka...
ang mga-
Di ba?
si Pusa.
Tsaka yung...
Si Pagong.
Si Pagong. Who are they?
Singit-ngit. Oh.
Dumalaw pa sila sa set ng batibot.
Ano, sineset na nila yung pattern, pero may kulang pa eh.
May kulang.
Kulang pa. So, para makompleto yan, kailangan mo yung mga katulad nila chika para idikit
Correct.
talaga sa Vice
Yeah.
President yung anomaly nitong confidential at saka intelligence files. No?
Kaya nga, bakit tayo patawag?
Balik dun. Balik dun.
Ay, sinabi ng military kanina.
Ah.
Tinurn over na nila yung investigation kay La Chica to the ombudsman. Merong military probe dahil active nga siya, di ba? Binigay na lang daw nila sa ombudsman.
Any information really is
Yeah.
assigned now?
Floating, di ba?
Floating lang?
Dahil
Ano, hindi
may
siya-
investigation ka eh.
Ano amin, hindi siya humarap sa Quadcom. Hindi siya humarap sa Justice
Oo nga,
Committee.
kaya
Tapos hindi pa siya
Kaya nga.
haharap dito. Bakit? Di ba? Bakit?
Ano nga?
Oo.
O sige, tawagan mo na si Atty. Capuna.
But the difference is that here, he can be subpoenaed.
Oo.
Baka kailangan
With threat
court,
of contempt.
baka kailangan court-martial.
Hindi, actually, kahit sa...
May power of contempt naman itong impeachment court.
Kahit naman sa Quadcom
Yeah.
eh. Pwede naman siya
As a bagay,
isabina.
that's also true. Yeah.
Hindi talaga siya sinabina. Kaya ewan
Makes you
ko.
Kaya nga
wonder.
kanina, yung mga tanong sa akin doon sa Senate, nung nandun ako, bakit ginagawa ito? Ba't ginawa ito ni Vice President? Ba't walang liquidation? Ba't walang ganyan-ganyan? Et cetera, et cetera. Sabi ko, wala lang. Parang tingin mo lang, you can get away with it. No?
Yeah.
Kakatapos lang ng gobyerno ng tatay mo eh. No? That was 2022. Kalawa, buo pa nun yung unit team. So may sense ka ng invincibility
Invincibility.
pa eh. Noong panahon
Yeah.
na yun eh, di ba? Noong panahon naman ng tatay niya, wala naman nagka-question ng mga ganyan-ganyan.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Sinong panahon na lumobo
Saka yung,
ang CF,
di ba yung
saka
testimony na
That's true. That's the
ganun
time.
din sa Davao.
Ganun din sa
Diba?
Davao.
Ganun din sa
400
Davao
million na
City.
intelligence fund yun.
That's true, no? And it was around that
Talagang
Rodrigo
lumobo.
Duterte's time na lumobo
Talagang
yung
lumobo.
CIF.
4.5 billion for the OP alone, for both CF and IF. Magkano sa inyo nun? Yung CFIF, OP.
Hindi ko alam.
Few hundred millions.
Basta yung NSA tsaka yung political intelligence, walang intelligence fund. Eh. I have to negotiate pa. Tapos we got 1 million a month. No? NSA yun, in charge yun ng
Oh,
intelligence.
Tapos nahuli ka bumibili ng DVD.
Oo. Ayun,
Wala ka
kailangan,
bang pampiyansa?
kailangan kasi yun eh. Walang MOE yun eh.
So, surveillance ka nun, ganun.
Kailangan mong ganun. Kunyari, bumibili ka. Tapos minomonitor mo yung kabila. O yun, di ba? Dahil, ang
Do
dami
we
kasing...
look like we're born
ang
yesterday?
dami kasi mga espiya na bumibili ng DVD nun.
Kanino kaya ito?
But yeah, going back to that, yun na panahon talaga lumobo
Yeah.
yung CFNIF. Ayan, 4.5
Pero alam ko,
billion.
hindi lang 4.5 yun eh.
Pero,
Baka nung unang taon lang yun.
Kung
Could be.
kung
I
gumagalaw
look it up.
man, hindi na
Tumaas
ganun
yun
hindi ganun kalaking
Yung
umabot
jump
pa-
talaga.
stay
Alam ko,
around
umabot
that
pa ng
area.
10 billion eh.
Ay, hindi, that's total. That's total for the
Total na
entire
yun,
entire government. Pero for the OP alone, mga 4.5 billion. Kasi mga 2.25 billion nata for sa IF and CF eh. If I recall correctly. But the memory is not
Yeah,
that good. Pero
balikan
ano
natin bukas, no? Ikwan natin. Dahil ang alam ko, higher. Bigger.
eventually, it got bigger. Pero yun nga, the point was, at that time, wala naman nag-audit. Or kung nag-audit man ng COA, which they did,
Prating may presumption of regularity.
presumption of regularity, or we didn't hear about it, and it never made it to
Pero
congressional
as early as
hearing.
20
Pagbabanta pa si Digong sa COA. Itulak na yung mga COA sa...
Si Michael Aguinaldo, remember?
Itulak yung COA sa
Hagdan.
hagdan.
Itutulak daw sa hagdan.
As early as 2015 kasi, meron ng tight circular, no, governing yung confidential tsaka intelligence.
Yeah.
Kasama pa sila Heidi sa gumawa niyan.
2015-01.
Yun na nga, yung JC.
Before that,
Yun na
talagang parang practically unaccountable yan. Pero noong 2015-01,
Yeah. That's
medyo-
the one that...
medyo stricto na.
Tama si Ami. Sila, former Commissioner Heidi Mendoza brought that up.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yun pa rin ang tanong. Anyway, see, we need to move on from there. We're getting stuck there. Puro tayo, what if eh.
Maybe
At least sinabi ni, sabi ni Cheese kanina, by the end of the year, tapos na rin yung impeachment.
Talaga,
Ayan, at
talagang
least.
hopeful,
sinabi niya.
Di ba originally,
Hopeful siya, hopeful.
dapat October, late October.
October, tapos na yan.
At
Kung
least-
tatanggalin nyo kung tatanggalin yung isang article.
Okay.
Tatanggalin
Yung,
bang article?
bribery.
Bribery, oh.
Tatanggalin bang
Dahil they
article?
have to sustain attention eh. Hindi mo masustain yung attention ng
Yeah.
tao ng ganyang katagal.
Bored na mga tao.
Oo.
Well,
Saka umuulan na
Kailangan
eh.
kagad
Dati
yung
umuulan
unexplained
eh.
wealth. Hintay natin sila chika, saka yung unexplained wealth.
yeah.
Yes. Oo.
Yeah.
Yun yung mga
Yeah. And maybe, well, I don't know. They 18 na tayo, but I don't know how many days they lost because of the bad weather. So,
2 days ata.
dapat hanggang October originally, ngayon nasa November na tayo.
marami pang parating na bagyo at monsoon. Di ba?
Dalawa.
Bok,
This weekend.
let's begin our mojo. Nagkita ang ating mojo si Merrimon Reyes, report to us live from the Senate, kung saan nagkaroon ng impeachment trial day 18. Merrimon, anya ka ba? Yeah.
Ay, Marymon, di kita nakita dyan kanina. Nakita ko si Marian.
Baka nasa press office tayo.
Oo, si Marian nakita ko ron eh.
Sino Marian?
Enriquez.
Sige.
Sa Marian.
Merrimon, kamusta ang day 18?
Well, yung cross-exam dito kay Ortonio, bukas na siya gagawin due to lack of material time. Pero tulad ng nabanggit nyo kanina, kinonfirm ni Ortonio that while siya talagang nakakapag-supervise bilang assistant secretary and assistant chief of staff dito sa pag-request, supposedly paggamit hanggang sa pag-liquidate din ng confidential funds, yung pagdating na sa aspeto ng kung paano na ini-implement itong mga programa, hindi na daw yun pasok sa kanyang duties. And isa pang ninote din kanina, while nag-request ng OVP ng confidential funds, kasi yung predecessor ni VP Sara, si former VP Leni Robredo, walang confidential funds yung OVP during that time, kaya nag-request sila ng confidential fund, nag-request sila August 2022, and then etong si Colonel Raymond Lachica, in effect, naging security officer siya ng September. So kung i-connect the dots, ito lang yung isa sa parang isang pinagbabatehan din ng prosecution. And then, nung tinatanong din naman, itong si Ortonio, yes, nagpadala nga sila ng kanilang request, nagsulat sila doon sa DBM. 4 yung request nila na augmentations. Yung 3 doon sa 4, may supporting calculations, computation, supporting documents para mapakita yung halaga na kakailanganin. Pero sa request nila ng confidential funds, wala. Nung hinanapan na lang sila, dahil nga kulang sila sa dokumento, doon nila pinasa itong PFP. Pero yung nilalaman nitong PFP, babalikan natin, si former SDOG na Acosta naman ang gumawa din noon at with the inputs of Colonel La Chica. So yun yung medyo may inconsistencies pagdating dito. And then nung tinanong naman itong si Ortonio regarding sa 125 billion pesos nung fourth quarter of 2022 na supposedly nagastos daw in 11 days. At dapat daw kasi for the last quarter yon ng 2022, October to December. Pero ang punto dito ng prosecution, hindi naman daw pwedeng gastos mo, magkaroon ng reimbursement.
Walang
Kumbaga
bawal
may
yan.
pinaggastusan, tsaka mo lang ibabalik yung pinaggastusan. So, hindi siya consistent sa supposedly kung kailan dapat ginagastos lang yung mga withdraw or in-encash na pera. And kinonfirm din ni Ortonio na upon the request nga ni Acosta, sinamahan niya itong si Acosta na i-withdraw yung 125 million pesos in CF sa lahat ng quarters na yon and inilalagay nga doon sa 4 na traveling bag. Wala ring official receipts pagdating dito sa pagpapurchase ng desks nung ibang medisina dahil ang nasabi rin daw sa kanya ni Colonel La Chica, binibigay daw direkta yung pera doon sa informants at sila raw ang bumibili nito. Walang resibo pero may acknowledgement receipt naman daw. Bok.
So it did not bother the witness na taga-abot lang siya ng pera pero hindi siya taga-account ng pinagagamitan ng pera.
Yun nga, Bok eh. Pero yung iba naman daw sa mga ito, alam naman daw kasi ng bise, well siya, kung hindi niya alam kung paano in-implement o ginastos itong CF, alam naman daw ito ni VP Sara Duterte. At pinirmahan din ni VP Sara yung accomplishment report. So, yun yung isa pa sa inconsistency. And yung ni-request ni Acosta na nagkaroon pa kasi ng sumobrang butal na 150,000 pesos doon sa CF. Ang huling sinabi ni Acosta, ni-request daw ito ni Colonel La Chica na kailangan pa raw ng extra 150K for security purposes. Ang tinawag niya dito si Ortonio. Kinonfirm naman ni Ortonio na oo, may request nga na 150,000 pesos. Pero ang sabi naman ni Ortonio, siya raw personal ang nagbigay nitong 150K from his personal money. Dito na bring up yung salary grade 29 ni Ortonio na nasa 180,000 pesos to 190,000 pesos gross.
Actually, na-establish ng prosecution, yung unusual tsaka irregular expenditure nitong confidential tsaka intelligence funds. Ang dinedevelop pa nila ay yung unlawful use at tsaka personal culpability ng vice president o ng head of office. Doon pa nila dinedevelop. Pero yung unusual at tsaka irregular expenditure, mukhang na-establish na nila.
Bakit ka nagulat dun sa 180 to 190,000 na salary grade?
Yung 150,000 daw nilabas ni Ortonio from his own pocket.
Kaya nga, nag-abono siya.
Oo.
Sabi nga niya. Why is that surprising?
With your salary.
And hindi rin
of
siya
190.
reimbursed.
Oo. Pero abono daw, di ba? It was reimbursed.
That's a very generous government
Salary
employee
grade.
for you.
Salary grade 29. Si Acosta was 26. Was it 26, 24? I don't remember. But si Ordoño was
Kung
29.
galabas ka ng 150,000 from your own pocket and hindi mo na reimburse, that's a very generous
Oh, sa akin, walang gumagawa nun eh.
Mary Mon, there was a point wherein they said na after nag-flag yung COA ng mga line item issues, tinanggal ito, pero yung the total was still 125 million pesos. Talk us through that.
Ito yung tinanong din kasi, may mga pinadala kasi na reports ng OVP and then may na-flag nga dito yung COA na supposedly hindi dapat siya pinaglalaanan or pinagagastusan ng confidential funds. Pero based naman doon sa pinadala again ng OVP na wala itong specific line items na to, pero yun pa rin yung lumalabas sa 125 billion pesos dictated by the VP. So again, ang pinagbasehan nila kung ano yung binigay na lang o dumaan dito kay Ortonio and plus yung inputs nga na pag-i-implement from Colonel La Chica. So parang all roads leading to Colonel La Chica na naman sa usapin na to.
Lumabas na sila dun sa handling ng mga accounting documents eh. Pumunta na sila dun sa how it was withdrawn,
Spending.
how it was transported, and how it was handled. No, nandun na sila ngayon eh. No? At kung papatawag sila Chika, yung missing link, yung saan ito napunta, yun na yung susunod. No? At yun yung
kaya-
pinrovide ni Acosta at saka ni Ortonio.
Ami.
Kaya yan nga tinatanong ng mga tao, Marymon, baka may balita ka dyan kahit
Ayun.
chismis lang. Kung ipapatawag pa si Colonel at Chica, siya hinihintay ng lahat eh.
Ami, binalikan natin yung pre-trial brief and nakalagay nga doon yung pangalan ni Colonel Lachica na ipepresent na prosecution. Pero ang nasabi naman kanina ni Lead Prosecutor Jinky Luistro, baka hindi na muna kakailanganing ipatawag or ipresent itong si Colonel Lachica. Kasi pagdating daw sa kanilang pagprepresent ng documentary evidence, pati ng mga tetestigo, tinetest daw nila yung redundancy, kung nauulit lang daw ba, at kung hindi na kailangang ipatawag pa yung ibang testigo. Kaya yung mga allegation nila, yung sa case in chief naman nila na may alleged misuse ng public funds or confidential funds ng OVP, nasasaklaw naman na raw yan ng mga testimony nung former COA State Auditor Momil, si State Auditor Sailin Del Campo, and then si Gina Acosta naman, former SDO ng OVP. Ang hinihintay na lang nila for now is yung participation, hopefully daw, ni Edward Fajarda, SDO naman ng DepEd, para makumpleto na nila itong case in chief nila or yung allegation. Pero wala pa naman sinasabing in finality na hindi na namin ipapatawag si Colonel Lachica. Pero if ever na hindi, at dumating na yung time na yung defense naman na ang nagpe-present ng kanilang mga testigo at ipinresent ng defense ang si Colonel Lachica, magko-cross-exam daw ang prosecution. That's for sure.
Actually, simula pa lang ng
Kasi
impeachment,
speaking of
sinabi na nila yan eh.
redundancy,
Simula pa lang ng impeachment, sinabi na ni Congresswoman Luistro, si Attorney Ligutan, si Congressman Terry Redon, sinabi na nila na baka hindi na ipatawag
Yeah.
si Colonel Lachica at saka si Madriaga. Ang sabi nila, meron na silang sapat na ebidensya, kaya hindi na kinakailangan ipatawag yung dalawa. Although kay Colonel Lachica, parang pinagdedebatihan pa. Parang open-ended pa kung ipapatawag. Si Madriaga parang hindi na.
Ami.
kasi speaking of redundancy nga, karamihan dyan sa mga issues na nire-raise nila, narinig na nga natin dun sa House eh. Ang
Yeah,
hintay na
that's
lang
true.
yung explanation nila Chica. Ano bang ginastos ng 125 million?
Yeah.
Yung detalye ng 11 days, although sinagot na rin nila yung 11 days na yan, ang sinabi nila, wala namang rules na nagsasabi na kung for the last quarter, kailangan over the last quarter. Yan ang explanation nila noon.
Yeah.
Wala namang nagpipigil daw sa kanila na gastusin yun in 11 days. Basta magastos mo. Yun ang natatandaan ko. Kaya kailangan malaman from Colonel at Chica, paano nyo nagastos yung 125 million
Oo nga.
in 11 days during the Christmas season?
Ang alam ko kasi sa GAA, may 2 years ka para gastusin yan eh.
Oh.
Before it reverts back to the treasury.
Oo, before it
Ganun ba yun?
reverts back. Yun ang alam ko eh. Kaya hindi ko alam what's special about this 125 million na kailangan nilang ubusin
Baka mag-away yung unity.
in 11 days, di ba?
Mahal mo
Pero
po
ano-
party.
Pero Bok,
Thanksgiving.
to Ami's point kanina about yung redundancy, I'm fairly certain na na hindi magiging redundant ang anumang testimonya nila Chica
Yeah.
versus yung testimonya ng
Yes.
ng special disbursing officers.
Itong iba.
Baka maging redundant pa yung testimony ng SDO ng DepEd at ng SDO ng OVP.
Yes.
Baka yung pa maging redundant eh.
Oo.
Pero yung pinagbigyan ng pera ng SDO, yun ang kakaiba magiging testimonya.
Yeah.
Attorney, redundant daw. May mga issues dito eh.
Okay, should we let Marymon go?
Sorry, Marymon, makulit kami.
Okay,
Ito kasing kasama namin eh.
we'll let you go. Thank you for reporting, Marymon Reyes, live from the Senate. Okay,
Thank
I
you.
remember now because nagpa-interview na rin sa atin si Attorney Kapunan along with Attorney Ligutan, and they said he might have a credibility issue. So same as Ramil Madriaga. They may not be able to independently verify yung testimony ni Lachica before he is called to testify on the stand. In any case,
But
maybe you don't need him kasi even going up if you put it up against the 2015 circular, the fact that si SDO Acosta released that amount of money, 500 million, to Lachica
Lachica.
was in itself
Anomalous.
going against that circular already. Kasi as SDO, she has very specific job, and she could
Yes.
only release to the informants, to the people that were getting the rewards. She didn't do that. So
Yes.
baka the plan is to, they don't need to
But
take it
would
that
that
far.
constitute a betrayal of public trust? Yung,
It constitutes
maling
misuse.
tao nag-release versus yung anong pinagkasusan.
Saan napunta?
Oo.
No? Sino si Pagong? Si Pusa?
Pusa.
Si Ngit-Ngit? No?
Si Dilim.
Yun nga gustong malaman ng mga
Ayun,
tao.
marami.
di ba?
My favorite is Andy
Yan
Lim
ang
pa rin.
gustong malaman.
Saka malalaki
Diba?
250,000, 150,000, di ba? Ang sarap pala maging asset ngayon, no? Malaki ng bayad, no? Buti pa sila.
Meron tayo.
Yeah,
Okay.
but maybe that is the legal strategy, right? Barring a witness.
then again, we're not lawyers, eh.
Okay, potentially maybe La Chica could give explosive testimony, but then again, baka hindi siya ganun ka-credible. We don't know. We've never spoken to him. So baka hanggang dun lang talagang
But
plano.
if it's your witness, you want that witness to be credible. Like, for example, if your witness is Madriaga, you want him to be credible. If it's a hostile witness, you want to destroy his credibility.
Actually, pwede nga siya patawag ng defense later. As hostile witness
course.
naman ng defense.
Ng defense.
Para durugin. Yung narrative nila. Alam mo, si Madriaga.
na
yung
inabot na
sa
si La
Justice
Chica lahat
Committee.
may
Oo.
ang
Kaya
kasalanan
kung hindi siya
nito.
papatawag ng prosecution, pwede rin siyang ipatawag ng defense later on. Tingin ko may suspecha ako na baka ipatawag ng defense si Madriaga to try to destroy him.
Suspecha?
Dahil humarap siya sa Justice Committee.
Yes, he did.
Diba?
I remember that.
Suspecha lang yan, ha?
Suspecha lang. Alam mo naman ako, suspicious ako eh. Parang si Ami. Si Ami suspicious din yan eh.
Hindi, bored ako, bored.
Bored na.
I'm bored.
At least dyan, may kama ka sa office mo.
Meron sila.
Doon sa Senate, wala eh. Naghahanap ako eh. Ang tigas
Iba
pa.
talaga ang Philippine staff. No?
Siyempre, Philippine Star yan.
Oo.
Kama to, malaking sopa.
Ang tawag dyan, D.
Hindi raw kama, malaking sofa.
D. Philippine Star.
Malaking sofa. Ikaw yun naman. Katapat ng TV.
Oh, mayroon tayo isa pang Mojo, Rich.
Oo nga. May isa pa.
Let's go on over to the House of Representatives, where mobile journalist Amy Atienza is monitoring national budget hearings. Amy.
Yes, good afternoon. Dito nga sa House of Representatives naman ay tuloy-tuloy na nga itong pagdinig ng House Committee on Appropriations pagdating sa 2027 national budget. At kanina nakasama natin ang Department of National Defense kung saan nga naibahagi yung kanilang budget para sa susunod na taon. Actually, abot daw ito ng 324.632 billion pesos, and kung per agency yung makikita, Office of the Secretary ay may 1.5 billion pesos, habang ang DND Civilian Bureaus ay may 10.255 billion pesos, habang ang Armed Forces of the Philippines naman ay mapapaglaanan ng 312.777 billion pesos. At isa nga din sa mga nababanggit dito, kahit may pagtaas itong budget for 2027 from the 306 billion pesos of 2026, ang nabanggit dito ni Defense Secretary Gibo Chodoro ay meron pa rin daw kasing unfunded na programs na as per the 2027 NEP, kabilang dyan yung funding requirement for personal services, maging yung iba pang kinakailangan nila for the MOOE, at itong plano sana nilang DND ICT equipment and procurement of motor vehicles. So tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung nagiging usapin ngayon. Medyo marami rin may napag-usapan, kabilang na din dyan yung sa pension na baka nga raw sakali na pwede nga daw na merong pension reform for MUP, kung saan itong pension ay mababawasan dahil 49% of the budget ay mapupunta doon. Meron ding nabanggit before magtanong din yung ibang mga mambabatas tungkol naman doon sa defense facilities na nais sanang ilagay at pinananawagan ni Defense Secretary Chodoro pagdating sa Pacific Waters. So hindi lang West Philippine Sea yung lalagyan ng defense facilities, na nais niya din daw sana na pati itong Pacific Waters sa east side ng Philippines ay mabigyan din ng pansin para nga daw mas handa ang ahensya or yung department pagdating nga sa kung ano man yung pwedeng mangyari.
Medyo delicate yung problem na yan sa MUP. In one sense, nakakadagdag to sa ating fiscal crisis. Dati pa nila sinasabi yan. in another sense, pag naibigay mo na kasi, entitlement na yan eh. Ang,
Mahirap bawiin.
Mahirap bawiin.
Ang sakit
Lalo na
bawiin.
kung babawiin mo dun sa armed forces, di ba? Na, alam
But-
naman natin,
but-
kahit papano, may hawak na armas siya, nakakatakot pag nagalit.
But even as far back as how many years ago was that? Panahon pa ni Duterte, they've been
Yes.
promising MUP reform already.
Yan si BBM, di ba?
Oh, shortly after he came to
pag-upo niya,
position,
nilabas niya
MUP.
ulit yung issue eh.
Paano mismo
Yes.
si Jokno na inamin niya na malaking problema yon. Eh si Jokno kasi, finance secretary nung panahon ni Digong at saka panahon ni BBM.
Oh, so bakit hindi niya ginawa?
Tanong natin, tawagan ko ulit.
Napunta siya sa monetary
Dahil mo
board.
naman pinapatawagan sa akin.
He warned about fiscal
did.
collapse.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yes.
He warned about fiscal collapse. Several months later, minove out siya sa fiscal, sa
Minove out
finance.
Hindi, pero
Napunta siya sa monetary
Yes.
board.
Ang problema, Ami, kasama siya
Yeah.
sa nag-approve noon nung panahon ni Digong eh.
You mean yung adjustments?
Oo, kasama siya dyan eh. Sa
So,
gumawa niya.
nagdoble. Saka
Ah,
na-index yun sa
Index yun
current.
eh. Oo.
Pay
So pag
hike.
gumalaw ang
Tapos
sweldo,
dinoble.
galaw din ang pensyon.
Oo.
Tama, it was index.
Pero tanong ko, Amy, ang proposal kasi nila Ben Jokno, kung ano man yung reforms, will apply only to the active members sa nga yung kung sino man yung new entrant. So, sila yung pagbabayari na magko-contribute din sila kahit papano. Hindi naman babawasan yung pension eh. Pero ipapakontribute na sila sa kanilang pension. One of the reforms siya na. Ano yung posisyon ni Gibo Teodoro? Parang meron siyang hindi siya nagko-commit eh, na gusto niya. Kasi si Ralph Recto, sinabi na niya, kung ano man yung MUP reform, yung susunod na lang na administrasyon ang gagawa niyan.
Ang
Si Gibo,
sinasabi,
ano yung posisyon niya?
Paso
Sinabi
na
ba
lang.
siya?
sinasabi dito ni Defense Secretary Gibono ay kailangan pa rin daw kasi pag-aralan yung ganong bahagi no ng pension nga. Dahil ang naging suggestion dito ni ACT Teachers Party List Representative Antonio Tino, ayun nga yung military at uniformed personnel na active ay maging kagaya yung pension nila doon sa mga government at private sector employees. Pero ang binabanggit kasi dito ni Secretary Gibo, kailangan pa nga rin daw aralin dahil meron daw instance na kapag naging discharge yung isang military officer based on accident or kaya unforeseen circumstance, no, may pension na rin and benefits na rin daw kasing natatanggap. So yun din yung isa pang part na kailangan tingnan dahil ibe-base din daw yung pension dun sa current rank nung officer na yon.
Actually, Amy, pag sinabing pag-aralan, ang ibig sabihin doon, in the real world,
No.
dribble.
Dribble.
Oo. Ano, ang dami ng
I-dribble
pag-aaral niyan eh.
Saka, I know it's a difficult decision, pero how many years does it take for you to
Mas
study?
it's a political decision.
Yeah.
Kaya pag ayaw mong pumosisyon, ang sasabihin mo,
No, I mean,
pag-aralan.
this late in your administration, hindi na rin, it also doesn't make sense
Last
to
2
make
minutes,
sweeping changes like this.
Last 2
It's so
minutes.
politically unpopular either way.
Yes.
Diba?
Lalo na mababa yung approval rating ng gobyerno. Anything can happen. Diba?
Tapos
Pero
meron
hindi
waiting
ba
in the
mas
wings
madali
parati.
nga sa kanya? On the other hand, mas madali nga kung siya nga ang magke-carry out dahil hindi naman siya up for re-election eh.
Pero baka mapaaga yung...
Ano yan?
Bagay.
Ano yan?
baka mapaaga yung ano niya.
Ami, pasabilis na yan. Pasa na yan sa susunod na administrasyon. Diba?
Yun na nga, sinabi na nga yun ni Ralph Recto eh. Sinabi na ni Ralph Recto yun.
Pasa na lang yan.
It's up to the next administration.
Dribble ngayon, tapos
Sinabi na
next
niya.
year, pasa.
Yeah. Just like any revenue generating scheme, diba? That's up to the next administration to think about.
Amy, modernization. Anong balita?
50.
Well, so far,
Nag-increase.
naririnig din kasi natin dito, no, may pagtaas nga daw pagdating
Nag-increase.
dito sa AFP modernization program. Though di ko fully nakuha pa yung specifics, pero over the past few months din naman and during the last budget hearing, if I'm not mistaken, no, parang nabibring up na rin naman itong AFP modernization program. Yun nga lang, nasasabi din dito talaga ay, at yung natutukan ko rin mismo ay yung dun nga sa gusto sana nilang magkaroon ng DND ICT projects, pero yun pa yung wala doon sa 2027 National Expenditure Program. Hindi nila matututukan pa ng pansin given na medyo short doon sa budget na nakapaloob doon sa 2027 proposed budget.
Amy, hindi ba nabanggit ni Secretary Teodoro yung kanyang mga reklamo sa BCDA na lagi niya sinasabi they are several billion short ng binibigay sa DND. No? Kasama yun sa shortfall eh. No?
So far, wala pa tayong naririnig with regards to the BCDA. Ang naging sentro din talaga kasi ng diskurso pagdating doon sa budget, at least from what I've observed then during the Department of National Defense budget deliberations, ay itong ang mga planned programs pa ng Department of National Defense, kung saan nga isa din sa naging focus ay yung sa territory, sovereignty, na meron nga sanang nais idagdag na defense facilities pagdating naman doon sa eastern side ng Philippines. So hindi lang sa West Philippine Sea, kundi pati na din doon sa eastern side ng ating bansa.
Okay. We'll leave that there. Thank you so much for your reporting, Amy Atienza, live from the House of Representatives.
Thank you,
AFP
Amy.
modernization this year is a little over 50 billion, just up from a little over 40 last year. And matagal na nga itong nirereklamo ng uniform personnel because the bulk of the AFP modernization budget goes to amortization, debt servicing, payments, and so on and so forth. So really, maliit lang yung room for purchasing new equipment. New goodies, new toys, for example. So ano yung minomodernize mo? I mean, this is not a Marcos Jr. administration problem. Matagal na to. And so yung increase for this year was, you can say it's also minimal.
It's a pittance.
Up to 50 billion, especially since we are trying to purchase more ships, for example, more artillery. And then,
And hopefully aircraft.
well,
drones.
meron.
Meron.
Tuloy na ba yung ano? Wala pa. Yung,
Seven
Usapan natin to last
yung
time.
papalit sa lead-in fighter jet natin, LIFT.
May commitment to purchase, how many was that? 12? Nakalimutan
Baka you're
ko
talking
na.
about yung FA-50.
The FA-50, correct.
Lead-in fighter jet pa rin
Yes,
yun.
yes.
It's lead-in fighter trainer.
Yeah.
It's not multi-role
Aircraft.
aircraft.
Di ba yun?
Kaya,
Yes, we have dreams of buying multi-role
Whether it's an
aircraft as
F-16
well.
or a
Dream
Saab
on.
Viggen.
Oh, dream on.
Yeah, but you know. Kasi, medyo lightweight pa rin yung FA-50. It's good that we progressed pero it's still lightweight. It's a trainer. It's a lead-in, meaning it trains you for bigger, more complex
bigyan nyo
aircraft.
ng pagkakataon yung aking S&D.
Si Manny Mogs.
Si Manny Mugato. Ano bibigyan ko
Di mo
siya?
ba alam?
Blanket authority.
Meron silang may kampanya sila eh.
Blanket authority to what? Purchase?
Para to purchase.
So if that were you, how much of an increase would you give AFP modernization
100%.
program? 100%.
You're in the middle of an invasion. Diba? You're protecting the richest part of your country.
Well, forget about invasion. The world has just become more volatile, right? Kahit saan ka pumunta, it's...
Wala na akong pakialam sa mundo. Pakialam ko lang yung West Philippine Sea. Ano ka ba?
Ipapakita ko ba yung
But,
ipapakita ko ba yung poster ninyo? Ha?
Wag na. Baka may maniwala eh.
Hindi-demanda daw ni Gibo yung di ba, BCDA dahil nga doon sa liit ng binibigay na
Oo,
upa.
hindi nga. Kaya tinanong ko kay Amy eh. Ano, makakadagdag yun eh.
Ami, oh.
Yan.
Kaya
Ano
nga,
natin?
malaki yan.
Kaya
Oo
ba
nga,
mag-zoom in?
oo nga.
May kwan yan.
Ha?
May
Sige,
portfolio yan.
zoom in.
Kaya mo mag-zoom in direct?
Sa ano.
Mahirap.
May portfolio yan.
Ilalapit ko lang sa ano. Yan.
Yan.
Oh.
Sige, yan,
Llamas
AI ba yan?
in Mogato.
Yamog.
Ano,
Lamog.
wanted ba yan? Wanted poster ba yan?
Tawag din, lamog.
Wanted poster ba yan?
Wanted poster daw.
Parang yung mga nawawalang people who have gone missing.
Yan yung future. No?
Pero alam mo yung pinanggalingan niyan, ang pinanggalingan yung inspiration niyan
Yung,
was this one.
oo, yung Marcos Tulfo.
I didn't know that.
Sumin nga, sumin.
Naalala yan. Naalala ni
Tandaan
ni
namin.
Abby yan. Naalala niya yan. Di ba?
Naalala ko yan.
Sinong
Naalala ko
Tolentino?
Arturo!
Hindi niya alam.
Arturo.
Si Vice President.
Arturo!
Vice President Tolentino.
Pumunta ka sa Senate, meron doon Tolentino room. Oh, sa Senate.
Vice
Yan
President
ang
siya ni
inspiration doon sa
Ferdinand
kanilang
Marcos.
t-shirt.
Hindi, magaling din si Tolentino. Magaling din magsalita yan dati.
Oo,
Magaling
naman.
siya, oo.
Matagal siyang senador eh.
Matalas yan. Dating senador.
But,
Oo. Ayun na.
Pero tumakbo na
Sumama
VP
kay-
ni Marcos eh.
Siya yung sa snap
there are no
election.
permanent
nakapartner.
enemies in
Running mate.
politics. Alam mo naman yan. But Ami, coming back to MUP reform, nakita mo yung response
Yeah.
ni Secretary Teodoro sa Philippine Star article?
Yeah. Sabi niya nga
anong sabi
hindi daw
niya?
pwedeng hindi daw pwedeng i-compare naman yung laki. Si Shelo Magno nagsabi noon na mas malaking dihamak yung sa allocation for the MUP kaysa sa AFP modernization.
Kasi
Kaya ang clarification ni Gibo, yun namang budget nung MUP, hindi naman lahat yun AFP. Kasama doon ang police,
That's true.
kasama Bureau of Corrections,
All
kasama
uniform
yung
personnel.
Bureau of Jail Management, yung Public Safety College. Kaya hindi naman daw masyadong eksakto yon. Pero ang kinukot doon ng STAR, si Shelo Magno, she's warning na it can be fiscally irresponsible kung hindi tayo mag-umpisang mag-reform yung MUP.
correct.
Yan
Yung
ang
title
sinasabi
ng
niya.
article, it was 143 billion pesos MUP pension nearly triple AFP's modernization budget. Pumalag si Secretary Teodoro about it. About nearly 50% sabi niya, nearly 50% is earmarked for AFP retirees. The rest go to other security services.
Tsaka-
Yun yung
tsaka-
sinasabi ni Ami. Hindi lang AFP yun. We forget, it's also BJMP.
Yes, pero maingat siya dahil constituency niya yan as Secretary of National
And
Defense. Oo.
he should fight for their rights. I mean, that's his job as
Kahit mag-create ng
their...
fiscal crisis.
Well, that's the job of the economic
Yeah.
managers na.
Pero tingnan mo yun, that's 143 billion against 50 billion. Kaya
100
iisipin mo din yun.
Hindi, pag...
Eh, ito, naghahanap tayo ng pera para
But,
sa modernization
I mean,
ng AFP.
Alam mo, I mean, we acknowledge crafting a national budget is very, very difficult, and you have to tread a very delicate balance, right? It's like walking a tightrope. Pero yung, why would, for example, ano yung rationale? I want to hear what the rationale is. We're putting, how much was it sa LGSF, Local Government Support Fund,
Yeah.
versus sa AFP Modernization Program,
Yeah.
right? Again, matagal ng problema itong modernization program that they remain underfunded when, you know, here comes the US as well saying all our Indo-Pacific allies should spend 3.5% of their defense spending, 3.5% of GDP for defense spending. Wala pa tayo sa 3.5%. In fact, wala pa tayo sa 2%. We're about a little over 1% of our GDP on defense.
Saka we're shifting kasi from internal
To external
concerns,
threats, yeah.
Yeah, external.
counterinsurgency, anti-terrorism. Nag-shift tayo towards invasion, diba? Towards aggression. Mas malaking pondo ang kailangan doon. Diba? Kailangan mo ng mga bagong mga equipments, drone systems, etc. Kaya hindi ito yung normal na dati nating ginagawa. Diba?
Yeah. Tapos yung local government mo, pag tinanong mo tungkol sa flood control, ituturo yung high tide.
High tide, climate
Itong
change.
si Ami talaga. Ikaw, nangiintriga ka eh.
Hindi,
Iilin ang ulo
tinatanong
ng
mo.
katabi ko eh.
Hindi, may dagdag. May dagdag dyan.
Ang laki-laki nung nila, support fund nila.
Oh, may
Where does
dagdag
the money
dyan.
go?
May dagdag dyan. Marami raw masyado yung ulan.
Ayun na nga, sabi ni BBM.
There you go.
Uy, wala ko sinabi. Sinabi ko sino. Sinabi ko lang, may nagsabi.
Kayo talaga,
Lakas daw kasi ng ulan.
alam mo kasalanan ng mga taga-dyaryo yan.
It's
Because
the
you,
weather.
Blame the weather.
no,
Yan ang talaga, literally, blame the weather.
well, he said it's because of unusual rainfall, unusual amounts of
Panahon pa ni
rainfall.
Ondo yung unusual rainfall.
It's the weather
Bakit
and
ngayon wala pa tayo,
and the heavens kasi pati tides eh.
Parang yung, parang paraphrase si Clinton, it's the economy stupid. Ngayon, it's the
Economy
weather
stupid.
stupid. Or it's the high tide stupid.
Diba?
It's
If
the
you're talking
rainfall
about
stupid.
extreme, ang tagal-tagal na kailan pa yung Ondoy. That was extreme.
2009.
Bakit hanggang ngayon, wala pa tayong ginagawa?
2009.
Yung super typhoon Yolanda, kailan pa yon? Ang tagal-tagal na yun.
After
Bakit
Ondoy,
hanggang
mga 2 years later, meron tayong habagat na nagbahari ng Metro Manila. I remember that eh. That was
ngayon?
para
Storm
sa Ondoy
surge,
almost
storm
eh.
surge.
Hindi ko pa alam kung sino
Storm
gagawin
surge.
ko
Nawasak
secretary
yung
ng
nung isang hotel, di ba?
DPWH.
Yung ground floor ng isang hotel.
Hindi ka pa
Nag-storm surge.
DPWH, wala pa ako napipili.
nagka...
SND pa lang at saka DSWD. Yung sa
DSWD.
DSWD kasi, pagbabawal na yung instant mommy at saka yung lugaw.
So, ang laki.
Oh, I like that.
Yun usually ang relief eh.
Para healthy naman,
Oh,
kahit
yun
pa paano.
i-upgrade natin yan. No?
Ano, maging ano.
Tsaka
Spam
lahat
na.
ng bata, papakainin natin. No? Papasok sa mga public school, tas walang laman yung tiyan. Ano matututunan ng mga yun? Diba?
O, teka, sino
Oh,
disability?
merong feeding
Iisip ko pa nga
program.
eh. Si Gretchen, may parang hesitant pa eh.
Arnian book, medyo, ano, baka yung ibigay niyang, ano,
Hindi, pero
relief
okay,
goods, eh, mga ano.
okay yun. Dahil kanya may bleeding heart at saka kuwan.
Bleeding heart. Yung napaka-politically incorrect mo talaga.
What? Bleeding heart is not politically incorrect.
He just called somebody bleeding heart. Buhay mo na, bleeding heart liberal.
Alam mo, next
Merong
week,
school feeding
makukumpleto ka na.
program,
May ano?
Up to third grade, I think, meron. Merong school feeding program sa public school. Yung milk, saka kuminsan yun, merong arroz caldo, merong champurado.
Ano yung dati? Yung
Nutriban.
Nutriban, tanda mo yung Ami?
Nutriban.
Nutriban, yung matigas pa.
Parang hindi yata gusto ng mga bata.
Oo,
Matigas kasi.
Oo, tigas eh.
Pero masustansya
Pag
yun.
magbatuhan kayo, para sa
Punong-puno ng kwan yun. Punong-puno ng vitamins yun.
Ayaw
Tapos
naman ng
sasabay.
bata ng masustansya.
Tapos sasabayan mo ng kwan, ng soya milk.
But there was a misconception there that the Nutriban was a government program. It was not. It was actually a USAID program.
Oh, it was not a government
Kulang sa
program.
It was not, It was
Bakit-
funded by
Bakit
USAID.
associated kay
Because it
Marcos?
was during Marcos' term. So,
Okay nga. But it was not from the budget.
No. Di ba? It was a
Pero,
USAID.
pero sakit nun pag hinampas ka ng Nutriban.
And on that
Sakit na.
note, we are going to pause for a quick break. You're watching StoryCon on One News. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is the Story Conference Group or the StoryCon Group.
We've got developing news in the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to StoryCon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao.
And I'm Regina Lay, still with us, Amy Pamintun of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Demas, our resident political heckler.
Pero batiin muna natin yung mga nakikinig sa
Bakit
radyo.
may
He's
hingal
now
yun?
on my right side.
Dahil malimutan natin itong mga nakikinig sa atin sa radyo. Nasa 105.9 News FM. Wala ka ibang siguro sira yung pampihit nyo.
No, keep it here. Huwag kayong makikinig kay Ed.
Kami
May
ay...
breaking news, merong statement si Colonel Lachica.
Okay.
Oh, no.
He's ready to face the impeachment court.
Sabi ni Colonel Lachica, I have never refused to appear or testify. If lawfully called, I am prepared to tell the truth subject to applicable laws and security restrictions. End of statement.
So, alam mo na, ba't nag-hesitate o prosecution? Baka pinaprime siya.
Parang may agenda. No, I don't know. I mean, binasa ko lang yung statements. I don't know that he has an agenda.
He is ready to
pero-
face them, but maybe the prosecution's not ready to call him in.
Yun na nga sabi ni...
Hintayin natin yung reaction ng prosecution ngayon.
Yun na nga sabi ni Attorney Kapunan before,
It's
which
a
is
challenge.
there are questions of credibility here, at least for them. And hindi nila ma-independently verify yung sasabihin ni Colonel Lachica, which is why they're hesitating at this point.
Pero di ba yun nga yung beauty niyan? Di ba?
Oo nga.
Dahil, anong sasabihin niya?
For you as a viewer.
Hindi.
Siguro if you're the prosecution, yun.
Hindi, anong pwede niyang sabihin, no? Ang pwede niyang sabihin, oo nga, totoo si Acosta binigay sa akin. Na mali from the start. Or sasabihin niya, walang binigay sa akin. No?
Napunta kay Acosta or and kay
So-
Ordonio lang.
So, yun nga dami pido. At least yung limited na nakikita ko, alam mo lang, very limited lang yung
Or it could be something else that we haven't thought of.
marami yun.
The truth could be stranger than fiction.
Oo.
Oh, ano naman yan?
Malay mo, maaring
Meron ko nalaman truth stranger than fiction pa ngayon. Ano naman yan?
maybe there's another party that is, I don't know, I'm just saying na baka masyado siyang
Mahiwaga.
wild card. That's why maybe the prosecution doesn't want to call him in.
Pero iniisip na nga ng mga tao, bakit ayaw niyong tawagin?
Oo, kung ikaw ang
Dahil sa
ordinaryong
testimony
mamamayan,
ng dalawang
magtataka ka.
hostile witnesses. Oo. Dahil sa sinabi ng dalawang hostile witnesses, yun na iniisip ng mga tao ngayon eh. Kailan niyo ba tatawagin yung isa na
Yes.
laging binabanggit?
Oo, siya yung pretty true eh.
Parang naging
Lalo
kwan
ni
siya.
Acosta, di ba?
Parang naging key,
Paulit-ulit.
parang naging key element
Paulit-ulit
siya.
siya tinuturo.
Yeah. Wow.
Kaya ayun. Baka may ano ka na dyan, Ronald. Baka meron ka ng reaction dyan.
Tawag mo, dali. Kasi di ba, hindi mo maipatawag ang VP, ito pwede mo ipatawag.
Hindi ko lang alam kung ano yung
Saka
pwede
siya
niyang...
tumanggap ng pera.
Kaya nga, hindi ko alam kung ano yung pwede niyang sabihin na damaging sa prosecution.
You can't? I mean, there's a whole universe of possibilities out there. He could say, oh, dinala ko sa Malacanang. I don't know. I'm just, of course, marami siyang maaring
May
sabihin.
porsyento si ganon.
Oo, binigyan ko muna si ganon, bago ko dinala kay ganon.
Galing na.
No, I'm just saying, like
Infinite possibilities.
there's so many possibilities.
Truth nga may be stranger than fiction, sabi ni Reg eh.
Oh, hindi natin alam because hindi tayo nag-handle ng confidential funds. Pero it could be something so out there na hindi pa natin naisip.
Well, kung ganun, edi from the very start, hindi mo ginawang article of impeachment yon. Nag-focus ka dun sa unexplained wealth. Diba? Kaya ginawa mong article of impeachment yon, vulnerability yon ng Senado.
That you should have been confident that you're not gonna be dragged in, kicking,
Kaya
screaming.
yung infinite possibilities mo, masyado namang infinite.
Yung itsura nyo. Yung itsura nyo.
Yung mga pa,
Sige na nga.
May ganun pa talaga eh.
Wala pa possibilities. Ganun, di ba?
Don't
Huwag ka
forget,
umiyak,
nandun ka na sa dulo, don't forget. Mabilis ka lang tulakin.
Ito, mas mahalagang topic ito.
Okay.
Kaysa doon sa mga pinag-uusapan
Pivot
natin.
na naman
At least
tayo.
ito, karapat dapat yung perang ibigay.
Oo, yan ang kinakailangan bigyan ng budget.
1 billion.
Let us bring in the Executive Director of Project NOAA, or Nationwide Operational Assessment of Hazards. I'm talking about Dr. Mahar Lagmay. Of course, welcome back to StoryCon, Professor Lagmay.
Sir, nakamute kayo.
Nakamute po kayo, Professor.
Ayan na po, tinig na po.
Roger.
Apo.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting. Magandang hapon po.
Professor, nitong mga nakaraang araw kasi, may mga nakausap kaming mga local at saka national leaders. Wala sa kanila ang tumatanggap na yung problema ay bahagi sila. Ang sinasabi nila ay ang problema sa flooding ay high tide, basura, climate change, at saka dami ng ulan. No? Yung sinasabi nila, wala kami magagawa dyan, practically, as government officials. So, from your vantage point, tingin niyo ba talagang wala tayong magagawa? Talagang inevitable itong baha?
Well, siguro kung i-refine natin ng konti, hindi naman natin kayang tanggalin ang baha. Hindi natin pwedeng i-exterminate talaga lahat yan, di ba? Habang may ulan, at lalo na kapag malakas ang ulan, ay nandyan ang problema natin sa baha, lalo na nasa typhoon belt tayo. Kaya lang, pwede natin mabawasan yung baha, no? Pwede natin i-manage. We cannot control it, but probably we can manage it. Pag na-lower natin yung mga levels, ay mas epektibo yung programa para hindi masyadong pasakit at pahirap doon sa mga taong bayan. Yun ang tingin namin na pwede namin gawin na hindi lang dike ang solusyon, kung hindi a combination of interventions. Like for example, mga nature-based solutions, pagtatanim ng puno, retention basins, yung mga marshlands ay pinoprotektahan natin. Meron tayong mga riparian buffers, pamalit ng halimbawa ng mga dike na hindi naman kinakailangan kung wala namang populasyon doon. Meron tayong rainwater harvesting. Pwede tayong gumamit ng mga bioswales, ng yung mga semento ba na may butas, tapos para it will increase the absorptive capacity of the land. Imbis na konkreto na aagos ng basta-basta, sisip-sip muna sa lupa. Magtanim ng mga puno sa mga urban areas, doon sa mga kung saan kailangan yung mga pumping stations, doon ilagay. Yung basura, kailangan inaano natin, no? Sinusigurado natin na hindi nagtatapon yung lahat, no? Isang malaking problema yan na dapat tulong-tulong tayong lahat. Kumbaga, meron tayong malaking problema, wag na natin pagrabihin pa. At yung ating mga investments doon sa flood control na tinatawag, na gusto namin tawagin na flood management, ay maayos, no, para yung ating investments ay mas epektibo kasi itong mga infrastructure projects, yung mga programa na gusto natin, pwede naman i-simulate sa computer yan eh. Para yung disenyo kunyari ng isang dike o yung isang infrastruktura ay makikita na natin doon pa lang sa computer kung magiging effective or not. So even before we spend money on that project, we know it will work or not.
Exactly, Professor. Di ba, hindi naman yan bago. Yung mga sinasabi nyo ay marami sa mga bansa na nasa Typhoon Belt ay sinisimulan na rin gawin in their own way. Hindi lang to magiging resilient, no, na laging sinasabi ng gobyerno. Ito ay usapin din ng mitigation. No? Medyo dramatically, pwede rin natin naayos ito kung maayos yung ating framework. Yung ating, almawa, yung sinasabi nyo, kailangan ma-assess muna yung problema. Saan ba yung pinanggagalingan ng baha? No? Kalawa, ano ngayon yung gagawin natin para ma-mitigate o mabawasan yan dramatically? Hindi lang usapin ng corruption eh. Usapin din yan ng science eh. Katulad ng ginagawa ng Project NOAA.
Yeah.
So,
But-
ang kwan lang ay malaki yung role ng mga katulad nyo para magbigay ng input sa gobyerno tungkol dito.
So Professor Lagmay, let's talk specifically about what you're going to use the additional 1 billion pesos in funding for. I know part of it is AI-powered flood forecasting. How would that work po?
Bali ganito, no? Yung pag-mention po ng AI, I'd like to emphasize that it is a tool. And yung tool po na yan ay pangtulong lang doon sa lahat ng ginagawa ng mga researchers, ng mga scientists na pag-kolekta ng datos, pag-analyze ng big data, at tumutulong lamang yung AI sa pag-synthesize ba, no? Mahirap po kasi kapag ang datos natin ay hindi okay at mag-churn out yung AI nang hindi din okay. So importante po na yung ating science ay robust at tama yung pagkolekta ng ating mga impormasyon na halimbawa yung historical data natin ng rainfall. Saan ba tumatama yung baha? Pwede natin gamitin yung AI dyan para makakita ng patterns kung paano natin magagawa ng mas magandang solusyon yung problema. At kaya po tayo gumagamit ng data analytics, nagkukolekta tayo ng informasyon, ng katakot-takot na datos, gumagawa po tayo ng mga hazard maps, nag-churn out pa tayo ng katakot-takot na information. Remember that we have 14 years of data na simula nung naumpisahan yung Project NOAA noong 2012. And we can combine that with a lot of other information to find better answers or solutions to our problem. Tama po yung sinabi na mahirap gumawa ng solusyon kung hindi naiintindihan yung problema. Mahirap mag-govern kung hindi evidence-based science ang gagamitin natin na basihan para sa mga desisyon natin.
Well, sir, I'm sure everybody's excited with the possibilities given the funding that you'll be getting na dagdag. In real and intangible terms, what do you think people can expect with the newly refunded Project NOAA? Anong mga gusto yung baguhin sa site niyo, idagdag sa site niyo at well, yung ganun.
Dagdag sa tanong ni Ed, Professor, bahagi ba nito ay kinakausap kayo para tumulong gumawa ng master plan na matagal nang pinag-uusapan?
Bali, bago pa po dumating yung 1 billion, we have been coordinating already with DPWH. Lunod na po kami doon sa mga projects na pinapasa nila sa amin, no? Bali, ang objective namin, ang role namin is when they pass the design, we simulate it on the computer and then we find ways to determine ano ba yung effectiveness noon, no? Ganong kabababa ang na-lower nung baha. Epektibo ba yung proyekto, yung infrastructure, no? So para magawa namin 'yon, kailangan namin ng powerful computers. Kailangan namin ng magandang hugis ng kalupaan, no? So sorry. Nasabid ako, kumain ako ng mani. But anyway,
Namumuya nga kayo, nakita namin.
sorry.
Okay lang, sir.
So,
Bumukbang din pala si Professor, parang si Manny Mugato.
Wapoys. Anyway, sige, ano ba yung sinasabi ko? So, yung kalahati ng budget, ng 1 bilyon ay ilalaan namin sa pagbili ng equipment. Okay. Ano ba yung equipment na yon? Meron tayong, tandaan natin, yung NOAA made use of LiDAR, light detection and ranging. Nagpapatuyan ng laser points na hundreds of thousand laser points per second so that we can recreate the landscape in digital format. Importante po yun kasi if we don't have that foundation or that base, we will not be able to simulate the floods. So the higher resolution it is, the better the resolution of our hazard maps and the better that we can see the problems. That kind of instrument, no, will be distributed to the state universities and colleges. Marami po sila, no, nagkalat yan all over the Philippines, and they will fly this LiDAR drone so that we can update the hazard maps. Yun po, no, so we can increase the resolution. Dati ang kaya namin 10 by 10 meter resolution. With more powerful computers and with all of these LiDAR data that will come in, kaya na po namin ng 1 meter per resolution. I actually sent some images, no, if you can show it. Yan, kita nyo, street level yung mga baha. Nakikita natin.
Ito, sir, yung current, no? Ito yung current nating site.
No. That's the latest, yung first output namin. That's in Butuan, no? Tingnan nyo, if you can show the others, you can see the difference between the 10 meter resolution and the 1 by 1 meter resolution. And with better images like this, no, better data, we can improve our interventions, yung ideas natin on what to do. I mentioned kanina, probably 10 interventions. So, yan, that particular image. Butuan City, look at the difference. Yung isa, it's like a blob. But look at the difference of that image on the right. It's very different. You can see where the safe places are. You can see the elevation, the height of the flood, as compared to the one to the left, no? Which is the old product that we had.
Sir, konting
ayun po.
color coding, sir. The red one or the orange one, is it the pink one? Those are the flooded areas.
Yes, the violet one is the river. Yung medyo pinkish, no? Yung pinkish is a flood that is probably about the height of a person, mga 5'6" or above the head. The yellow one is the yellow is probably up to the knee, and the orange is up to the waist. Yung walang kulay, yun yung mga safest places for
Yun lang
development.
hindi baha.
Yun ang hindi binabaha. Those are the safest places for development, siting evacuation centers. At mukhang yun yung mga talagang real estate that is most favorable. Yun po. So when communities plan, they put the residents, they put the population out of harm's way para pag dumating yung baha, wala tayong disaster na papag-usapan.
Professor, by way of forecasting, meron bang maaasahan ang mga tao na mas mabilis yung warning about flood? Siyempre, kailangan nyo ng rainfall forecasting for that, ano? Pero yun ang tinatanong ng mga tao ngayong nadagdagan yung budget nyo, mas mapapaaga ba yung warning sa pagbaha? O walang epekto yan? It has nothing to do with your ano?
That's right. We have been developing also mga tools, no, innovative tools like 2 years ago we had this impact-based forecasting system that can determine whether a place will flood or not one day in advance. What places are going to get impacted by heavy floods? What places are safe? Nung bagyong Tino, andyan po, natag po niya yung Cebu, natag niya yung lahat ng mga barangay na tatamaan. Nung nagbaha po sa Palawan, natag din niya yung baha doon sa Palawan, sa Puerto Princesa, and many other places. Nagamit po ito ng DepEd doong bagyong Basyang early this year, and na-disseminate yung information na yun. Nakita niyo po, compared to Sendong in 2011, the deaths were far less than what happened in 2011 as compared to Basyang, which struck this year. Although we have these technologies, although we have this information, akala natin na madaling i-communicate. Hindi po ganun kadaling i-communicate, no? So, we are also trying to improve on information dissemination, communication. Yun po yung gusto sana namin gawin noong 2017. Na from NOAA, na meron kami mga products, we wanted to cascade that, disseminate that. But unfortunately, hindi po nagtuloy. We were adopted by UP. And from a national scale, naging local scale kami. So we helped the local government units. We went down to the barangays. We tried to understand their problems. Ang dami po naming nakalap na impormasyon. At yung pong mga kaalaman na yon, susubukan namin ipasok ngayon dito sa programa ng 1 billion. Ano ba yung mga kailangan natin? Kailangan natin ng updated maps. Kailangan natin ng better and more detailed hazards information. We need to communicate better. It's not only science that's important. We understand that arts and the humanities are important because the people need to embrace the science. If the people don't embrace the science becomes meaningless. So, importante po na gawin natin itong programa nito kasama ang mga academics, no, mga experts from universities, because we also understand that it's not enough to identify where the hazardous areas are. It's more important to find the appropriate interventions, not just in one sector, like for example, agriculture. It's important to find the interventions and the actions that we need to take for, let's say, education. Ngayon, di ba, pag nagbabaha, wala lahat ng klase. So, what kind of interventions do we need to do? Not just for these sectors, but all sectors that were affected during COVID. Di ba, lahat nung COVID na apektuhan po lahat. Ganon din po ang hazard impacts. It will affect all sectors. And the experts for these topics are found in the local area, in the state universities and colleges, in the higher education institutions. So that is why we want to capacitate and co-create knowledge with them. Kasi po, kailangan ng research doon to be mainstreamed into the community plans against climate change and disaster impacts. Because if we don't put them into plans, yung mga projects, programs, and activities magiging haka-haka lang, di ba? Anong basehan? Everything should be science-based. Everything should be evidence-based. And yun po, yung science na yon should be put into the plans para yung mga sanggunian will create projects and fund projects that are based on evidence. Ayun po. And if we do that, chances are, walang pangako ito, but chances are, yung ating investments do sa local areas, local communities will flourish, will be better, will yield results for the development of the community. And that's the way you attain the sustainable development goals.
Concretely, Professor, halimbawa Bulacan. Yung Bulacan kasi parang naging iconic dahil ito yung sentro nitong massive corruption sa flood control among other areas. No? Ikalawa ay kahit wala ng ulan, large parts of Bulacan, baha pa rin. No? Baha pa rin. At ikatlo, ang daming mga local government officials dito, hugas kamay. Nakita ko lang huli nung isang araw, yung San Jose del Monte. No? Inaway lahat, maliban yung kanilang sarili. So, halimbawa dyan, sa Bulacan, na practically part na ng Metro Manila, anong intervention ng ng Project NOAA? Meron na ba kayong interface sa national or local government diyan, katulad ng mga binabanggit nyo?
Meron po, no, yung DPWH has been consulting us. Merong mga proposals to mitigate the flood problem in that area. But I must say that it's really a wicked problem, no? Kasi halo po 'yan ng subsidence, bumabagsak po yung lupa dahil sa paghugot ng groundwater. Ang pagbagsak po ng lupa ay as much as 11 centimeters per year.
Laki.
That is a delta na kapag nilagyan mo ng dike yan, and those dikes were there since kailan ba? More than 50 years ago. And because it's a delta, pag nilimit mo yung tubig, syempre, pagbaha, which is supposed to replenish the land para tumaas yung elevation, para kontra dun sa natural compaction na bumababa, ay lalong bumabagsak yung kalupaan. And with sea level rise due to climate change, pumapasok ngayon yung tubig dagat. And plain yan, no? Flat area yan na yung baha ay nagmumula pa galing sa Nueva Ecija. Bababa yan, and through the years na pinag-aaralan namin yan, alam namin na ang baha can remain up to 1 to 2 months. Sa ibang lugar, like for example, Laguna, nung Undoy, it remained there, yung flood sa coastal areas ng Laguna, up to 4 months. So, yung mga ganyang problema ay dapat nakukonsider para doon sa mga projects natin na akala natin maglalagay tayo ng isang intervention na malaki ang investment, tapos ay yung pala, ganun pa rin din ang mangyayari. No? So, kaya ang role po talaga ng Project NOAA dito ay gumawa ng mga pag-aaral, mga simulations para whatever design in the future or project that we take in the future, bago pa tayo nag-invest, bago pa natin inaprubahan, bago pa tayo gumastos, ay nakikita natin kung magiging epektibo or not. At ang maganda sa Project NOAA, because we are science-based and we come from a university, sasabihin po namin ano yung resulta ng siyensya para yung ating impormasyon na mailalabas, no, ay makikita din ng taong bayan, para makita ng taong bayan ano ba yung pinaka-epektibo, para hindi umaasa lang basta-basta lang, di ba? Kasi parte sila ng paggawa ng solusyon dun sa problema. And again, I would like to emphasize that the problem of flooding is everybody's responsibility. So pati yung pagtapon natin ng basura na nagka-clog ng pathways, yung ating paggawa ng kung ano mang mga infrastructure, yung settlement natin, yung development natin, all come into play. And yun po, ang kailangan pagdesisyon natin bilang mga tao sa sambayanan, na ito ay problema nating lahat at hindi lang problema ng isang bayan.
I mean, more than the earlier warnings, Professor, is there a way to improve the accuracy of the forecasts? For example, na-mention niyo po yung the school cancellations. I remember in the last 2 weeks, nagkaroon ng blanket cancellations in all public and private schools, which, caused a lot of problems amongst the parents because yung may mga araw naman na mainit or it was relatively dry. And so that triggered Education Secretary Sani Angara making a proposal na maging granular na lang yung cancellations, meaning each site, each school will have the power to decide for themselves whether to continue with in-person classes or not. I wonder if there's a way to use technology to improve the efficiency and accuracy of forecasting.
Yeah, that's right. No, the accuracy of 1 day in advance forecast is probably about 70%, 75%. It's a forecast. It's not always correct. No, there's a probability that it is incorrect. But those are the limitations of science. What we have been doing was creating an app called a Walang Pasok app. It's a suggestion for government to follow a certain type of procedure na hindi subjective. That when we cancel classes, it's based on certain criteria. thresholds of the amount of rain forecasted to be dumped in an area, whether it's going to be hot during the day. The heat index is above 42 degrees or 43 degrees. So there's a decision basis for every action that we make, whether or not we cancel classes. Yun, palaging science-based ang ating decision, objective. So that is what we're trying to do. We can do it in a granular level up to municipal level. And we made it available. We will make it available sa apps, sa mobile apps for testing. We can, through the years, improve the threshold values, calibrate it according to the location. And I think that is how we should make decisions in government, diba? It has always to be it always has to be anchored in evidence-based science. That's how you govern.
Professor, may link up ba kayo sa NDRRMC? Yung mga gumaganon sa telepono namin, yung orange rainfall, are they consulting you para lang medyo mas mabilis-bilis yung alert ko sa kasakali? Kasi iba, tinatamaan bigla sa opisina, sa school, baha na pala sa labas, saka lang nila makukuha yung alert. Are they consulting you?
Hindi po nako-consult kami dyan.
Are you planning to link up with the NDRRMC alert system? Kasi yun ang tinitingnan ng mga tao ngayon.
Kailangan po, no? Maganda sana nakasama kami. We used to be part of the operations of the NDRRMC from 2014 up to early 2017. But we ceased to become being part of the NDRRMC PIDRA system. In fact, yung NOAA, one of the projects which is strategic communications, yun po yung ginawa. Inintroduce niya yung pre-disaster risk assessment that requires hazard-specific, area-focused, and time-bound warnings. So, importante po kasi na hindi tayo nagba-blanket na warning na halimbawa 12 provinces or 20 provinces. Kasi if people repeatedly get that kind of message, it creates what we call as the cry wolf effect. The next time that they get that message, hindi na action kung wala naman nangyari. So, yun po yung mga fine tuning na pwede namin ma-suggest, bilang part ng academe, na pinag-aaralan po namin lahat itong mga bagay-bagay na ito. Tapos sa masusing pag-aaral na po na yon, pwede natin maimungkahi dun sa mga decision makers itong mga resulta ng aming mga pag-aaral.
Yeah.
So yan po ang Project NOAA.
Fantastic. And we look forward to all the improvements that you can introduce to our LGUs and forecasting system. But we'll leave that there. Thanks so much for talking to us. University of the Philippines Professor Mahar Lagmay, also Executive Director of Project NOAA. Salamat, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Salamat,
Thank
Prof.
you very much.
Thank you,
Ed, wala
Professor.
kang tanong.
Hindi, okay na ako.
Ako marami pa, pero next time na, pinapagalitan ako ng katabi ko.
Magkakalit yung principal namin.
Sige, Roland. Thank you. All right.
Because we're out of time, unfortunately. But thanks for joining StoryCon today. Ami Pomintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Llamas, our resident political pahamak. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for StoryCon RBG Delay.
I'm Ed Ligaw, kapatid. We are One News, your side all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the StoryCon Group.